Hi everyone, welcome to my channel where I review the latest movies and documentaries. Today, I'm going to talk about the first Omen movie. If you're interested in this topic, make sure to watch this video until the end, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. At the beginning of this story, the Brand nun has come to meet another prince, who had committed a big crime. When asked about this, the press shows a picture of a little girl to Father Grenade. The picture was normal, but it was not the child. Priest told Father Brennan that this child was not born naturally. The name of this girl was Sikiana, about which she does not tell anything more to Father Brennan and goes into deep thoughts. And in which Sucha's flashbacks we get to see girl. The girl was stripped of all her clothes, and a black cloth was tied over her eyes. People standing in her interest were performing some ritual. The girl was very scared. Suddenly he hears the sound of someone croaking from near him, and the scene is cut from here. Now this is shown to the priest again. Joe was about to tell Quarter Brennan something about a girl named Sikana when suddenly a pole behind him breaks and hits a mirror. And the same pole literally splits his head into two parts, causing his team a lot of trouble. It happens. Many years later, we are shown the scene of Rome in 1971. At this time, the people of Rome were protesting for civil rights, and at this time, Sister Margaret Norman came to Rome from America, where she had to take vows to become a nun. He had to promise in front of everyone. She now spends her life as a nun, and receives 2 free orders from the monks, the first of whom was Cardinal Lawrence. He was now retired, but still on receiving Margaret it was as if his own daughter had returned from America. Now she wants to go where she notices that mostly only girls stay at this organization. Here he is introduced to 2 sisters who meet him while they are taking him to orphanage's room while he is visiting him. The girl of half a car leader, this girl was very strange in appearance, as if her mental condition was fine. She was sitting here making sketches, and on one of the sketches she saw that she had made a sketch of a girl lying on the bed screaming and dancing around her. We find out that Carlita is really mad, as she has now started taking the beatings while standing, and so Sister pulls her away from Margaret, comes to her room and meets her roommate. Although she was also a nun, she used to tell about all her work secretly. She used to go to these parties and spend her days as she used to say in her life. Margaret was trying to set her heart here and there, but with each passing day something strange happened to her. She used to have strange feelings in this orphanage. She even sees some ghostly things in the orphanage which she ignores. While staying here, Margaret tries to learn the local language along with the traditional deco. She becomes very attached to the children here. But the notice says that Carnetta, the girl whom she met on the first day, does not mix with ordinary girls. Then the rich people used to keep him in a very tight room, and the reason behind this was that he had some bad thoughts, some bad visions, and he was kept away from everyone for treatment. Even Margaret had noticed this on the first day. The story class was telling all these things to Margaret. Margaret was surprised by the fact that despite being only 12 years old, Carletters did not look like these ordinary little girls, rather she was a big adult girl. Now it becomes night and Margaret comes to her room. They see that her roommate was preparing to go to a party. She also forces Margaret to come to the party with her, and instead of wearing her party dress, she brings her with her to the party. These people have a lot of fun here. She also drinks in the first grade life, and after getting drunk, she dances with a girl. While dancing, she tries to make the guy come by putting her tongue on his mouth. Just like Kahanletta had put on her mouth, and after doing this she becomes unconscious, and when she regained consciousness, she was on her bed. She was worried as to what happened during the night, but told her roommates not to worry. Nothing wrong happened during the night due to which you should be worried. She didn't remember anything about the night, but still she was not getting good vibes, and she was blaming herself for all this. At least she should not have drunk, and because of these sins she also apologizes to God. Then after this, when she goes out, Brand comes here to meet her, whom we also saw in the beginning of the movie. He lives with such a mark that you should not trust any person living in orphaned. Needed, and yes, remember, you should definitely save your cheeks near Nita. Many in the orphanage also ask someone about a girl named Kiana. Margaret remembers that there is no girl named Sikiana, and there is no Finnish either, but tell me the situation. She had seen the name Sikiana on Lita's drawings while she was in the car. Quarter pregnancy, now she is seen at her address and says that she must obey my words. If any question or difficulty arises, you can come to me. Contrary to her words, he settles the car in the orphanage and starts coming closer because he had noticed that the car was floating on the bed. Did he notice it in the furniture? And also the nun did not talk about the girl's condition with Ada. Maybe she was scared and alone. She remained locked in the room. During the conversation, Kalnitov tells Margaret that she has strange brothers who make her dash. Margaret tells him to relax. This is no big deal. I too was very scared in my childhood. Then with time they disappeared. This is normal. Carlotta also gets encouraged by these words of Margaret. While they were still talking, suddenly they heard someone shouting in front of them. When she went to fight, she saw that some girl was giving birth to the child. But Margaret felt as if a demon's hand was coming out of her stomach, and seeing this made her feel so disheveled that she fainted. Margaret was also worried that if all the girls lived in this orphanage and no one was married, then who was the father of the children born to them? Afraid of all these things, she goes to them, whose names are Garden and Lawrence. He explains to her that you saw something like this happening at the first minute. Maybe that's why you got scared. After this they come to the garden of orphanage where all the children were enjoying with the nuns. The good thing was that there was dancing and children were sitting comfortably, and no one was stopping them. She sees that someone is talking secretly to Carlita, and is also showing her a drawing. She comes to him and sees the book in his hand, in which a picture of a girl was made, and she had a child in her stomach. Dance was standing around him. Here she tells the sister that you should not show this to Castellita, these things will have a bad effect on her life. She was talking to her sister when suddenly the sister held her face and kissed her. No one notices them doing this. After which she kisses the sister and goes to the furniture's roof and pours petrol on herself. She was looking at Margaret and Carlita, laughing in a very creepy manner. She tells both of them that all this is for you, after which she sets herself on fire, hangs herself and dies. There is an uproar in the entire orphanage. Due to this, the condition of Data on Margaret had become worse after seeing this. After seeing so many wonderful things in this orphanage, I remember the bread. She decides to go to Father Brandon, who told her to stay away from funnies, to learn the mystery of this orphanage, where Father tells Brain and Margaret that I told you to stay away because he is the Antichrist. They do not believe in Jesus Christ. He is a threat to our religion. The people of orphaned and orphan churches have been calling it secularism for a long time. They have been trying to destroy Christianity in their religion, and this is a big threat to the world. Brandon now shows Margaret the same photo of him and the furniture at the beginning of the movie. It was a photo of Sakyana Rami, a child about whom he did not know much, and about this child he wanted to tell Brandon something and Father. Brandon gives this to Margaret and says that you will be saved. Collect information so that we can stop all their evil intentions, but she did not believe in what Father Brandon said, so she leaves from here, but while leaving, Brandon agrees to do one work. Brandon had also taken her by car and asked for information, which he went to Ma to collect, because he himself wanted to know about Carlita's past. The next day, Jab and all the Finnish children were being taken on a trip. During this journey, Kar asks the new prince of bar creation and furniture about Nita, asks about her past, but this page does not tell much. Did not know. Anyway, they could only talk much because the sisters sitting in front were constantly keeping an eye on them. When they go back, Mel tries to ask Great Darlingto about her childhood, but Letta is scared of her. Let's go to a room. As Margaret follows her, she sees that near Lita's car was the soul car of the sister who had committed suicide in front of them, and she gets very scared after seeing it. When he hits the head hard, another sister comes here and takes him away from here. At this time in Rome the fight over civil rights was in full swing. There was commotion outside, there were fires everywhere, and it would not have been risky for Margaret to come out. But she didn't want to stay here either. He then comes out of it, and here he feels that someone is shaking him from behind. But we don't see anyone here. Whoever was holding her from behind could only be felt by Dan standing at the orphanage. The meeting of the sisters is organized, and here they tell P that you should leave this orphanage. After Tumhida ever be seen near Galata. Also, there is no need for you to become an and take it from someone else, because you are mentally unfit. After hearing all these things, Mark starts trading on his sister. Are you not coming with me but with the Kalita? Now she comes out of the fountain again, and when she comes out, she sees the same boy with whom she danced in the club. I noticed that the boy was badly afraid of Margaret, that's why she comes to the boy and asks him to tell me what happened that night. Have I done anything bad to you? But this boy does not give any answer to him. And says look for the devil Mark, you get it. Suddenly that boy meets with an accident and he is killed there. The girl who was trying to save the migrant was defeated by the stormy body of this boy. It was cut in half by the middle, and even the people standing nearby get scared. Now fed up with all this, Marudi goes to the church and starts apologizing for his crimes from the guard. We see that in the market room, the one who came here to get the money for the money, has been there for the final today, and Margaret takes advantage of everyone being busy, and goes to a secret room of the orphanage where she meets a girl named Sikiana. Files are also available. The same file which Father Brandon had asked him to bring, but the surprising thing was that there were 14 files of the girl here. All the files had a mark of 666, which is a developed mark. She was born on 6 June at 1,480,806. Out of these 14, almost all the girls had been killed, and what's more, 14 were now alive, and 14 were actually laid in the car, and this is how they came to know. 14 was born 12 years ago, and Carletta Bayou was 12 years old. Margaret had now understood that why Carletta looks so adamant in comparison to her mother's children, because she is the daughter of devil. It was clearly written inside the file that Anna 14 i.e. Kansas Letta would have to be kept away from the other children. That's why the Orpha people kept him tied in the room. The bread was able to understand many things, but many questions were still in its mind. She gets all the files from here, takes the story and tries to run away from here, but the nuns notice her. Diane catches them. When she was trying to free them from each other, Carlita was screaming, and at this time, Margaret saw a mark of 666 inside her mouth. This confirmed to her that she was 14 and she was the developer. Is the son of. Madrid was also imprisoned. Martyr falls asleep in this prison, and in his dreams he sees a very scary girl. She got up due to fear, and was surprising that the blood of the same girl who was in her dream was now scaring her in front of her. Margaret shouts loudly. Hearing the screams of Margaret, the priests of the church come here, relaxed it, and after seeing her condition, decide to take her to Father Brannan, because Father Brannan also tried to tell and try to tell the truth of this church. But like Margaret, these persecutors did not believe in the secularism of Father Brannan. But now, seeing all these things, he felt the words of Father Cylinder true. That is why Anne take it to Father Brannan with all the files named Kiana. Come here and tell Father Brannan, did you say that the development marks are on the body of girls? But there were 666 traces inside the mouth, and Father Brannan was shown in the movie's start, she had a mark of 666 on her body. This means that mine was not a child who was looking for a picture that Brandon was looking for. Guinea Antichrist is another girl. The older Banner was now understood that the information she was given was incomplete. The people of the developed calf had gone with him. These people check the files again and see that there was a photo missing in Sikkim 5. The photo that was near the Father Brain comes completely in this file, and it is known to know what is not 14, apart from Garlicta, which is an Antichrist, and he is alive till date. To see her date of birth. They come to know that this date of birth is also from the Marfrate, that is, the same thing is true. It is shocked to know this. His condition becomes strange, and he now remembers the party's night. She remembers that she went to the club. He did a drink and did not do all this himself. The nuns of that orphanage, who was actually done, got together, after which the nuns of the orphanage brought him unconscious, and brought it to an unknown place, and did the same as the story was done with the girl to be seen early, and she the girl was the mom of the Marbrate, with whom devil had done too much, and the Marbrate who used to come was her mom, and now the devil did something bad with her. As soon as he remembers all these things, he remembers the girl with the club. Look for the development mark, which came to know about it, he gets a developer mark over his head. In this way, it is confirmed that Sikkim was herself. This offering, which ended the Chanity, who has done the secularism, the group kept the Margaret away, so that it could use Marbrate for its ritual when the right time comes. She now came to know that there is a development in her stomach. She did not want to produce this child. He says this from Father Plain and Father Brannan, then believes that the decision to go to the hospital. But on the way in the fridge with the fridge, they get their car out of the car. The market again comes under their possession, which he brings and finish, and when his body was suddenly started to be demonic. That is, she herself started becoming a devil. On seeing this, his stomach becomes very big. The next morning was 6 June. That is, the baby of Margaret, who was the baby of the developed, was now going to be born. We already know this thing, and all the people of the fridge are found inside this thing. Here we realize that the card was the leader of this Gulf group. Why was he so happy when the Markrate was returned? Because he wanted an Antichrist. The son of a devil who replaced Chassis Christ in Christ Chantity. He was finishing Christ, and Antichrist would have born when devil had his own daughter development's children, and Antichrist was to be a boy. For this work, he called a devil in the world. He first came close to Malvert's mom. Then Margaret was born. After 21 years he again came close to the Margaret, and a boy and a girl were born in its result near the Markrate. The boy who was the one was Antichrist, and the market knew this thing. Margaret's heart was still not a demonic, not a devil. She did not want to give birth to Antichrist. She did not want to serve it alive. She takes a blade of the same doctor, and first kills the Cardinal Lawrence here, who was the leader of the scalp group, and then tries to kill her own son, but the sister runs away from here. Darlie Toppy had a daughter of development, just like a market, and she was also raising her more furniture to produce Antichrist. After all, what is the purpose of all these reverse work of this orphanage people? It is to come that the world has gone away from Jesus. That is why you want to call everyone and take everyone back to the case Christ by intimidating Christ. These people used to tell this story to everyone, but it was not a reality. Actually, these people themselves considered development as God. These people used to worship development. Here, the sister who ran away with the child of Margaret, he voices the room of assault from behind that now we have no need for the marketer his daughter. Set him on fire here. Here, attacking our grade with a knife, he runs on fire and runs away from here, but here she enters to save her life. The Carlita, who started considering Margaret as her sister, who had spent a good time with Margaret, she saves the market and her daughter from here, and in the same quick fire, the bread is seen in the devil, he saw the bread in the devil, he was bad with him. Hot, and we are shown that all nuns are meeting. A ton is telling about a very big man from America who was now going to have a son. Their plan was that she would kidnap her son and give her Antichrist. That is, the son of Margaret, from whom Antichrist, the son of Margaret, will raise it in a good female. According to the plan, people give the rich man the son of Antichrist, the son of Margaret, which grows up after spending some time. The other side is shown to us. These people were living like a happy family. Here today the father comes to them, brain ends, they stand up on them and tell them that please go from here, say things, okay, I would like to walk. I did not come to disturb you, just I have come to tell you that he goes to know that you are alive, you can be in danger. And yes, the second time your son is also alive till today. After telling this, many go away from here. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this movie and what other movies or documentaries you want me to review next. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching and see you next time.